I'm going to take the time to quote Harrison Ford. He recently said that he doesn't do stunts. When asked about doing all his own stunts, he said that he runs, jumps, and falls down. Stuntmen do stunts. My favorite running, jumping, falling down scene or sequence was in the alley when Gordon and Kubrick were shooting at me, and I went jumping off a wooden crate onto a car, onto a dumpster, and over into the second story of the parking complex. And it was funny because my stunt guy came on and he did it once and he slipped. And then I was like, hey Todd, why don't you sit this one out, I'll do it. And I did it better than him. I was very proud of myself.
Run, I'll draw him off.
What? No, you're crazy.
In this room right now to like talk to me, I think that's kind of supernatural.
Here is a very heavy intellectual question. What was it like biting Jensen's neck?
It was everything that I hoped it would be. It smells really good. And the skin is so soft. Oh my God, this is
Thank you.
I'd like to win one fight. One fight. I didn't get my ass kicked. I'm stronger than them. No, not about them. I think I could take one of them at least, but they didn't double team me. So I just want to win one fight. That's it. No problem. I feel like he has a lack of balance in his life, which means like he has a singularity of focus to take out whatever it is that he's pursuing. What Dean and Sam have in one another, especially Dean, because I think he's more of a cowboy than his brother is, obviously, and has a tendency, could be more like me if he was on his own, but because he has Sam in his life, he has something else to put his focus and energy and love into other than his work, other than just being a hunter. So the singularity of focus, I think, is the most interesting thing about him and also the most damning thing about him because it keeps him from having perspective. Like, I'm really appealing to this guy, I need to kill your brother. You should understand that, right? And oddly enough, he doesn't understand it. Yeah, both sides of that coin.
So yeah, no, and if Eric Kripke can find it in his heart to bring me back from my beheading. You know what, let me tell you this. When I first found out that I had become a vampire, when I read it, I cried. Because I was so hurt. I was like, this is, Gordon hates vampires, right? And I, Sterling, began to hate vampires. So to see that I had turned into one, and then I had the audacity to turn somebody else into one. I called Eric on the phone, I was like, dude, is it that bad? Like, I completely lost it. He was like, yeah, dude. I was like, hey, Sarah.
You do realize it's just TV.
No, it was done for real. Like a worm. When they cut it off, I had to pop it back on. So perfect casting this whole movie. That's obviously not true. Yeah, it was mostly CGI. It was, I had a body double, and while one person was there getting his head cut off, they put a green hood on. So you know there's green screening, etc. Put a green screen so they could like put nothing there. And then I would lay down on the floor while my body double was up getting his head cut off, and then they would just photograph my head and cover me up with a green blanket so that you could only see the head. Well, I gave it away, didn't I?
Gave it away. Might as well not watch now.
Can't stop thinking about you. Sam. Oh.
It's actually kind of a funny thing because before I did this scene, I thought to myself, what is it? You know, good-looking actors who are tall and beautiful and funny. It's really no big deal. It's kind of a big deal. I didn't mess it up too much, but you know, there were a few times where I thought we could really rev up that scene. It would only do justice really to the scene. But it was actually really sweet, and I do have to tell
She loved it. I heard all about it the next night when we went to sushi.
Simple girl, you know. But it was actually really funny because the person, I became very calm during this scene because Jared was just a nervous wreck. So he was like, okay, if you're nervous, you just give me the nod and I'll make sure that the people get out of the room that don't need to be here and I have to go right here, okay? And I was like, oh, yeah, it was so sweet. So it was actually very, very much easier than I might have thought.
I mean, think about it. All he ever did was train you, boss you around. But Sam he doted on. Sam he loved. Made it. I'm getting angry. Dad knew who you really were. Good soldier and nothing else. Daddy's blunt little instrument. Your own father didn't care whether you lived or died. Why should you? Son of a bitch! My father was an obsessed bastard!
It was a really, really hard scene. I'm being serious. The director, I love to death. His name is Steve Boyum. You know, he had some things in mind that he wanted to do during that scene, and you know, when you're dealing with the television schedule, sometimes it doesn't always allow for the artistic shot to be done because you've got to get your basics and you've got to, you know, essentially cover your ass. Otherwise, you're gonna, you know, the network's gonna come down on you. So in doing that, you know, I had to play one side of the scene a certain way, and God bless him, I can't remember his name, but the guy who stood in for me on the other end knew all of my lines backwards and forwards, and I was so impressed with him, and I'm killing myself.
It was a big scene, it was like a 5 or 6
Yeah. And, you know, but at the same time, I couldn't tell him how I wanted to play the scene. I couldn't be like, listen, act just like me. So I had to remember in my head how I was going to be delivering those lines to me and then react off of the way that I was thinking about those lines. It was very confusing and it was very difficult and it was very challenging. And so, you know, at the end of the day, I was like, mark that off the list. But, and then I think the most difficult thing was I had to get into the demon, when I get shot and the blood all over my face and put the eyes in, and I gave that weird voice, which I don't know where that came from. And then I had to get all cleaned up and go back into the scene and do another take of like one of the, because he had time to get that kind of cool double cut shot. And so by then I was just like, Steve, this better be the most, this better win you an Emmy. Thank you. I tell you what, my first off, I'll tell you my most unfavorite, I guess, was the I guess it wasn't even a death. It was just the scene of where I was gargling. They actually gave me real scope. Well, when you do that 12 times, again, you can't feel your mouth. So now I'm talking to Jared like this. But my favorite death, I like when the piece of furniture fell on me. Because it's just cruising along and no more.
So let's just make sure I don't die. If I make it to tomorrow, then maybe the loop stops and we can figure all this out.
You think?
It's worth a shot. I say we grab some takeout, head back to the motel, lay low until midnight. All right, good. Who wants Chinese?
What was your favorite death, like you dying? Like, which one was the most dramatic or most awesome?
Tacos. Just the idea of, and then they just cut, right? Does this taco taste funny to you?
Yeah, right. Nice guess. It wasn't a guess.
Right, you're a mind reader.
Cut it out, Sam. Sam? You think you're being funny, but you're being really, really childish. Sam Winchester wears makeup. Sam Winchester cries his way through sex. Sam Winchester keeps a ruler by the bed, and every morning when he wakes up, okay, enough!
You guys take that to do that?
It took a while, not as long as you would think, but since he's not here, I'm going to completely blame it on Jensen. And I'm going into detail. There was a line, I can't remember exactly what the line is. It's Sam Winchester wears makeup. Sam Winchester cries. And every morning when he, okay, it was something like the line where I say, or we say, and every morning when he wakes up, okay, enough. He would do it too early. He'd say, every morning when he wakes up, okay, enough. And I'd be like, you're supposed to say he. And then I wouldn't say he because I figured he wasn't going to say it, and then he'd say it. And I was like, well, what are we doing? He'd like skip a line, but we had done it, we ride together to work every day. We get picked up and go to work, and so we have about 30, 45 minutes in the beginning of the day to go through our lines and to think of ideas and to run through cool moments or what we're going to do. And so we knew that day was going to be big because they wanted it to be, you know, very crisp. And so we just I had him read it a bunch of times because the idea is that Sam is mimicking Dean. And so I wanted to know how he would say it as Dean. So I just had him read it again. And I started kind of doing it silently as he was doing it. And then I was like, all right, let's try it. And so then we gave it a shot. But also right before that scene, we sat in this trailer and just were going da-da-da-da-da-da. And then we sort of put our heads down and went straight to set. And we were like, don't talk to us. We're like, go. We're in the zone. So, and then we got to set and he ruined it all anyways. But yeah, that was a lot of fun. That was, when I read that, I was like, that's going to be really fun to shoot. And the hardest part was not laughing because everybody else was laughing. And so, and it was sort of, you know what? I also remember, this is weird, but as you're doing it, you're so surprised and happy that it worked that you sort of forget that you have another line coming. So you're going, you don't know everything. Yes, I do. Really? Yeah. Sam Winchester wears makeup. And then you're like, we did it. Sam Winchester wears makeup. We did it. And so you keep on getting excited that you're doing it, that you sort of think about how cool it was that you just talked at the same time. You're like, yeah, we did it. But we ended up getting on camera, so I guess it worked. Thanks.
Hurry up! It's too late! I already called them. They're already coming. Glaze into him. Security be fast. Si voglio buttare servire, zero gamos, aurinos.
And my question is, I want to know how it was done when you were slammed into a toilet. There was a camera on the inside of the toilet. Yeah. So it was like, was it a real toilet or? And then there was a camera in it, and yeah. What had happened was, you know, when I read it, I was like, you know, is that a special effect? And, you know, and it was a real toilet. But, you know, no, there's good news for it. It was an upside to me. It was hollow. So you know, you really could see through. There was two different, you know, setups. The toilet that you would see that you go, you know. I had to go in. That's when I put my humble voice on. Yeah, I had to do the toilet thing. I was really not happy about it. But the water was extremely cold. And, you know, I was really hoping they didn't do a prank and I, you know, woke up in the toilet. I kept the eye on everybody. You know? Locked the toilet to make sure it was pure water. And I just sit there, you know, I made sure, you know, I was like, no, I'll pour the bottles. But yeah, it was fun, but getting through it. I think the hardest part getting through that was the contacts for the eyes, you know, and that was probably the hardest part, you know. But yeah, the tour was fun. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Before I auditioned for the show, I originally auditioned for Bella, and then I had an hour before I had to go back in for Ruby. So I had an hour of preparation, which was a little bit nerve-wracking. But once I actually got the role, you know, you only get to sit with a script for a couple of days before you start shooting, if that. So, you know, I also started kickboxing and stuff like that, which made me feel a little bit more of a badass, which was good. I felt like I really embraced.
Yeah. So did they like train you pretty hard that you actually can you know put up a fight?
Oh yeah. I could throw down if need be.
What was your favourite scene and why? For both of us or both of you?
Okay. Episode 12, Bella, at the police station was a really fun scene for me. Granted, it was like a 6.5-page scene, and it felt like the longest scene in history. It was really fun, and I actually really liked that episode. That whole episode was great. The last scene, I don't know, I just thought it was so cool at the end of it when I'm like, say something, next time we go with my plan, and like walk away. It's like, that is so badass! And it's kind of embarrassing because that's me. And I'm just gonna be quiet now. Almost everything I do with Jared is embarrassing because he loves to make fun of the way that I walk and the way that I stand. And so I literally will be, you know, having to walk in the scene and walk up to him and say something and whatnot, and then all of a sudden I'll see Jared in the background and he does this. When he's doing off camera for me, I'm watching him imitate my own walk, which is kind of ridiculous. And then they also say that every time I hit my mark, I don't just hit it, I hit it, and then I do like a little, or, you know, the arms crossed or whatever it is. So I pretty much always feel like I'm always being made fun of and embarrassed, and I'm always just like,
They say that they always have to like pull the camera out a bit because Kate would go to Mark and then she'll just go so wide.
Strike a pose.
We should. Okay, look, I hope maybe it works. I hope it does. We just have to be sure. Why aren't we sure? Because I'm not sure what's going on here. I mean, some dude blows his brains out. A little girl is scared out of her face.
Oh, wow. A few siblings in town are freaked out by some ghosts. Newsflash, Sam. We're supposed to be freaked out by ghosts.
That's how you find the car. That's how you do it?
Waiting on the call.
All right. Well, I told Lenny stop by. I told Lenny to stop by. And now Dad's back and he's speaking with us, and we can't accept it. I mean, the man is dead, and we're still letting him have the guy. That's not what this is. And what is it about? The fact is, we got no heart. after everything, you're still just running on blind faith.
Yeah, well, maybe. Maybe that's all I got, okay?
Please. Just don't put it on something, okay? That's what rubs off on you. Oh, that's a shitty shit.
Stand by, please.
Yeah, we had a couple of miscues, so we'll be better.
All right, just lock it up, though, Bell.
What's up?
That girl, Laney, Mom's ghost freaked her out pretty bad last night.
That sucks.
Yeah, it does. What are you doing?
I think that's right. I think the demon's here. Check it out.
What is this, weather reports or something?
Omens. Demonic omens. Electrical storms everywhere we've been for the past 2 weeks.
I don't remember any lightning storms.
Well, I don't remember you studying meteorology as a kid either, but trust me, bashing up and tailing me, wearing some portent's meat.
And it's following you because...
Some big game. I guess my ass is too sweet to let out of sight.
Sure.
Don't get too excited, Sammy. You might pull something.
I mean, look, man, I want to believe this, okay? I do.
Believe it! When we find this sucker, it's Miller time.
That's another thing. But if Dad rattles off an exorcism that'll kill demons, I mean, not just send them back to hell, but kill them.
I checked on that, too. It's at its heavy-duty Dark Ages. 15th century.
Yeah, I checked it out, too. And so did Bobby.
Okay, yeah.
Look, it's definitely an exorcism, okay? There's just no evidence that it can kill a demon.
No evidence it can?
Come on, man.
Hey, as far as I know, the only one of us that's actually been to hell is Dad. Okay? I think maybe he picked up a trick or two down there, like which exorcisms actually work.
Maybe it works, okay? Look, I hope it does. We just got to be sure here.
Why aren't we sure?
Because we're not sure what's going on, Dean. I mean, some guy blows his brains out, a girl is scared out of her wits.
Oh, wow, a few civvies are freaked out by some ghosts. Newsflash, Sam. People are supposed to be freaked out by ghosts.
Okay, well, did I tell you where to find the demon?
I'm waiting on the call. Oh, good. Yeah, no, great. You go hang out with Jailbait. Watch out for Chris Hansen. Yeah, I'll just be here, ready to, save my life. Well, you are unbelievable. You know that? I mean, for months we've been trying to break this demon deal. Now Dad's about to call us with a freaking address, and you can't accept it? I mean, the man is dead, and you're still butting heads with the guy.
That's not what this is about.
Then what's it about?
The fact is, we've got no hard proof here. After everything, you're still just going on blind faith.
Yeah, well, maybe. Maybe that's all I got.
Please, don't go anywhere until I get back, okay? Please. Thanks. Nice to meet you. It's a long work with you. 100.
And if there's one thing that the makeup people and the special effects people and the entire crew and the writers and the producers know about me, I don't like fake blood. I'd rather them just cut me open because it's corn syrup. So it's like sticky and gooey. And for instance, the Hellhound death in, what was that, season 3? I show up on set and they've got my wardrobe plumbed. There's plumbing in my wardrobe. That only means one thing. They're going to literally plumb blood into my body and my wardrobe. And so this was season 3 when the technology wasn't there to do what we could do now, which would have been much, much easier. However, I had to go through the whole thing. They had the shirt with like little monofilament tied to pieces that were scored to rip to act as the invisible claw of the hellhounds. So there goes the shirt, and then I got a special effects makeup guy like with tubes going out of this giant syringe, and as soon as the thing goes, he just starts going, and it's just like gurgling, like blood is fake blood, but blood is just, you know, gurgling up. That scene, that particular scene, was 6 hours to film. This stuff starts to solidify and get sticky after about 30 seconds. And we did the scene continuously, so it was just layering on top of me. What does it what? Does it taste good? No. I will say that the makeup department has created a little cocktail of blood for the mouth blood that we use. Because, you know, every now and again when we get in fights, we see blood in the teeth and stuff. And I hate that stuff too. I just don't like it. I don't know what it is. I don't like it. I don't mind it. I just don't like it. I don't mind seeing it. Like, it's fine. Like, I can come up to a cadaver and it can be ripped to shreds. And even if I see like real blood in real life, not affected. It's fine. I just don't like fake blood on me. And so the mouth blood. So they actually put a little Hershey syrup in it. So it tastes like chocolate. But anyway, so plumbing, blood, 6 hours. I was walking around like this. And my clothes they had to be like hosed off with a fire hose. Like it was like a pressure washer had to get my clothes, because it was just like stuck to my body. Not fun. Didn't like that one. Could have cared less about the actual storyline of it. I didn't like it because of the physicality of it.
Stop it!
It was just like, I mean, they were like gurgling, like there was just so much blood coming out. But we shot that. It took 6 hours to shoot that whole scene. So after a few minutes, the corn syrup that is the blood that we're using starts to harden and get sticky. And then the clothes start to harden and bind to your skin and all the little hairs that are on your skin. But it's okay because somebody came to my rescue. And that was when Sam was weeping over my body and his tears magically made all the blood unstick. And it was like little angel baby tears. And had I known, I would have, bottled it. But I still, to this day, I haven't been able. It's very elusive.
In series writer Sarah Gamble's opinion, Dean's location is more of the waiting room at this point, the place they stick you before they hand you the sign-in sheet. A far cry from what he will experience once he gets into the first chamber of hell.
Somebody help me!
Filming the sequence was miserable for Ackles, who spent 4 hours in makeup having the various hooks and other prosthetics applied. Wired cuffs around his wrists and ankles, as well as a harness around his waist, were used to lift him 13 feet into the air in front of a green screen. To his discomfort, the harness slipped, causing its buckle to continuously dig into his hip throughout the scene's 3 or 4 takes. The actor, who had tears rolling down his face as he was lowered down, deemed it the most physical pain he has endured for a single shot.